Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video you will learn how to make the basic dartless skirt pattern. The measurements required are the skirt waist to the hip measurements, then the skirt waist to the knee measurements, and the skirt length measurements. Mind you that this is the half front of the pattern. The circumference of the pattern is divided into 4. So the 2 for the front and 2 for the back. So we are starting off with the front pattern, and this is half of the front pattern. Check out my video on how to use the sewing measurement tape lesson 2 for better understanding. Then we start placing the vertical and the horizontal measurements. Like I mentioned previously in my video, the vertical measurements are the ones you place along the body, or the measurements taken along the body, while the horizontal measurements are the one taken across the body. So the vertical measurements I've already placed here. This is the skirt waist, that is the starting point, the skirt waist. And what do I mean by the skirt waist? This is the level, the skirt waist is the level where the client places her skirt. It is not actually the waist level, but the point on which the client places her skirt. So I take the circumference there, then subtract 1/4 from that circumference to get the skirt waist, because the skirt waist is usually tight at that point. Then the distance between the skirt waist and the hip measurement is the distance between where the client places her skirt to the fullest part of her hip. That is the skirt to hip distance. Placing the measurements at the waist, 33 divided by 4, we have 8 1/4. Place the measurements. Then the hip, 40 divided 4 gives 10. So 10 here. So note that the largest circumference or the higher circumference is used to determine the work span, as in the work area where you will place your measurements or where you do your drafting. So the circumference of the skirt length is derived by subtracting 4 inches from the hip circumference. That is 40 minus 4 divided by 4. 40 minus 4 is 36. 36 divided by 4 is 9 inches. So the skirt length circumference is 9 inches. Okay. Coming up to the waist, from here you move up half an inch higher than the level, then connect the points. Then come down by half an inch at the skirt waistline, then connect the 2 points. At the hip level, move up by 1/4 and also down by 1/4. This distance eliminates any pointiness around the hip area. Then connect from this line, from this skirt waistline to this point. And connect from this point with a very slight curve. I use a very slight curve to connect from here to here. With this front, the back will be derived. Note that this is a net pattern, so I didn't add any allowance on all sides. So placing the front pattern on the sheet for the back pattern. Usually the back pattern sheet is like 3 inches wider than the front pattern pattern. Why? Because of the zip allowance and the slit allowance. This is the center back. This is the center back. Center back. So extending the lines from the center lines, we have something like this. I'll start from the hip point. Usually I make a sitting for the buttocks. I call it butt sitting. What do I mean by that? You know, by structure, by the body structure, that the back takes up more room on your clothes or in your clothes than the front, and the back part is bigger and wider than the front part. So depending on the hip, I have derived a measurement range I use. For a measurement hip circumference of 39 and below, I use 1 inch for the butt sitting. Then for a hip of 40 to 44, I use 1/4. I'll leave the range on the screen. Then for this hip circumference of 40, I'll use 1/4 for the butt sitting. So 1/4 here. Then for the zip allowance, I use 1 inch. Then from the knee, I go up like between 5 to 6 inches to get the knee, the slit length. Let me use 5 inches. Then from the center front, I go like 1/2 inch towards the back. So connecting these points, 1, 2, 3, I get the butt sitting and the zip allowance for the back. And the slit distance, the slit width, I use almost 2.5 or 2.5 precisely. So I connect. So I cut it out. This is it for the front and the back pattern pieces. So separating it, you have something like this. So up to this point, if you've gotten value out of this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Feel free to ask your questions. I will do justice to them. Thanks for watching.